Good evening. It's Wednesday, September 18th. I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us. Well, a man was found dead inside his Temple Hills townhome this morning. So far, police say they don't have a suspect or motive in the case. They also say there were no signs of forced entry into the home, which is located off of Brinkley Road. Denise Douglas has the details from the scene as investigators try to piece together what happened.
There is a lot of police activity out here in this community off of Brinkley Road. Initially, they were called out here for a welfare check, but when they arrived, and most of the investigators are way down there by a home that's on the right-hand side, it is blocked by trees. Once they got here, they went into the home and they found a man who was suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Investigators have been here collecting evidence all morning, trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Well, it's still not clear. It's obviously very early in the investigation. I just spoke with the assistant commander of the homicide unit, and he informed me that at least at this very preliminary stage, that this crime does not appear to be random. But obviously they haven't closed any avenues in this investigation. They'll examine it fully and determine what happened as the day goes on.
At this point, no details on the victim in terms of age, name, or anything else have been released. His father was here earlier. I tried to talk with him, but clearly he was emotionally shaken and did not want to talk on camera. In terms of the community, many people have been out looking and wondering exactly what happened, but many did not want to talk on camera either. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And if you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. Well, it is difficult to imagine a scene as horrifying as Monday's Navy Yard shooting happening in a place like your own office building. Officials are reminding residents about the importance of staying aware, informed, and prepared for any type of emergency. CTV's Makia Turner is joining us now in the studio with tips on how to survive such incidents.
That's right, Patty. And you know, on Monday, employees in the building and in Building 197 at the Washington Navy Yard thought Monday would be just a typical day in the office. Well, that, of course, all changed when alleged gunman Aaron Alexis opened fire and killed 12 people. Now, unfortunately, this type of incident can happen just about anywhere, including your own workplace. So what should you do if you're ever tangled up in a similar situation? Well, this 5-minute video of a simulated active shooter event was released by the city of Houston on YouTube. It provides tips on how to survive that type of incident. A spokesperson for Laurel breaks it down for us.
They are well trained and are there to stop the shooter. It's called run, hide, fight. And that's the mantra that they practice and preach, and we advocate that as well. So in a situation where you have a active shooter in an office scenario like they did at the Navy Yard, you know, first you want to get out of the way, run. If you have hopefully you've already thought about this, you have a plan, you can get out safely. If you can't get out safely, if the situation is near you or you don't think you can make it out, then you hide. You can barricade yourself in an office, secure the area, get down, turn off your cell phone, so on and so forth. But you want to make it look like nobody's there, so hopefully the bad person will go on to the next place. Confronted with the bad person, then you want to, fight, and only in a last case scenario, hit them with a brick, a bookcase, whatever you have, a fire extinguisher, whatever you might have in hand.
The city of Laurel offers training sessions on how to protect yourself and others in various emergencies. If you or someone you know is interested, you can call the non-emergency number at 301-498-0092. If you don't live in Laurel, you can contact your local police department. And Patty, I should also just mention today that the Community Foundation for the National Capital Region, they launched 2 funds today. The first is the Navy Yard Relief Fund, which will completely support the families of victims and people who were injured in Monday's shooting. Also, the second fund is the Safer Communities Fund, which will support long-term systemic challenges of violence in the region. So a lot going on there. Also, back to employees who work at the Navy Yard. Everyone except the folks who work in Building 197 are expected to return to work tomorrow. Today, some employees they had the chance to pick up their cars and to retrieve some of their personal items. Again, not those in Building 197, from all surface parking lots and certain parking garages at the facility.
All right, it's still a very active investigation. And meantime, we want to mention that local emergency responders are planning to hold another active shooter exercise next month. The last one, which was held over the summer, took place at High Point High School in Beltsville. Monday's mass shooting at the Washington Navy Yard has local authorities recognizing the value of these drills.
The active shooter situation is something that's evolving in the industry. The way fire and EMS used to deal with it, we used to stage and wait for police to tell us it's safe to come in. The new industry standards, if you will, are evolving to where fire and EMS comes into a warm area. Once the police have cleared a specific area, they'll go in with protection to get victims out. We didn't used to do that. We used to wait for police to clear. So for fire and EMS, it's pretty important that we pay attention to these exercises and that we use these opportunities to learn what went well and what didn't go so well.
And the next active shooter drill is scheduled for October 30th. Well, in the wake of Monday's mass shooting, supporters of tougher gun laws will rally at the U.S. Capitol. The event is part of the No More Names National Drive to Reduce Gun Violence bus tour. Rallygoers will urge Congress to pass sensible gun laws and comprehensive background checks. Organizers also plan to read the names of more than 9,000 Americans killed with firearms since the Newtown school massacre. Meanwhile, U.S. Senator Ben Cardin has renewed his own push for a similar legislation, calling on colleagues to restart bipartisan talks on reasonable and balanced gun safety measures. 6 of the 12 victims killed in the Navy Yard tragedy were from Maryland. Well, Texas Governor Rick Perry visits Maryland in an effort to lure business to the Lone Star State. Perry is rumored to be considering another run at the Oval Office. With no personal income tax, the Republican says Texas is filled with economic opportunities, a view he's touting via a national radio and television advertising campaign. The ads criticize the policies of Maryland's Democratic Governor Martin O'Malley. And at a separate event today in Annapolis, O'Malley was asked to respond to Perry.
To having a spirited discussion about the better choices that we need to make in our states in order to strengthen and grow our middle class. And it'll be a pretty sharp contrast. The governor of Texas has followed an economic model that is based on very low paying and apparently ever lower paying minimum wage jobs. We as Marylanders have the highest median income of any state in the nation. In Texas, I believe they rank 25th. We have the second lowest poverty rate of any state in the nation. Texas has the 10th highest poverty rate of any state.
Earlier this year, Governor Perry tried to lure Maryland gun makers to Texas, including Beretta. That after the General Assembly passed new gun control legislation that's set to take effect October 1st.